Hello everybody and welcome to Module Monday number 3. I will probably stop saying what number it is really soon because it's going to get really old. I had a rather long weekend. Worked on Saturday night. I actually worked with a band, a really cool band that do weddings and that sort of stuff as a roadie and sometimes a sound guy. I should do a video on that sometime. Anyway, and then I played bass at church yesterday, which was fun. Not something I love to do all the time, playing bass, but hey, I've got to do it a couple of times lately and it's pretty enjoyable. Quick announcement before I get into things, and that is that I've got a new module drop happening, very exciting. And that should be happening in the next day or so. I've got 4, count them, 4 new stock modules that will be available. There's a new fuzz, a boost, a distortion, and a range master. So that'll be cool. And I've also got 2, not 3, 2 new prototypes that will be cool. And you'll see a drop of those soon. In fact, how about I'll just tease it right now. Okay, so I wanted to address something that I've got quite a few comments about. There is definitely something on the roof of my workshop at the moment. So I wanted to address something that I've got quite a few comments about on some of the Instagram reels that I've been posting. And that is around the issue of reliability, particularly because on the Telecaster and Strat versions of the Guitar-O-Matic, the modules mount from the outside. Had quite a few people saying this is unreliable, roadworthy, blah, 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 like that. Yes, there is potentially an issue in as far as things on the road get broken, for sure. That could happen with anything. The modules are actually they're very well seated. They're certainly not just going to fall out. You will need to actively get them out. But for anybody that is potentially sus on it, likes the idea, but is like, oh, maybe it's a bit too exposed, I will be releasing a new Guitar-O-Matic really soon. It'll be ideally for Les Pauls and solo body guitars that have the access to the control cavity from the back of the guitar. So they have holes for potentiometers and stuff coming through the top of the guitar, rather than on a scratch plate or a pick guard or anything like that. So the question is, to mount it on top or to mount it in the guitar? Let's have a closer look. So here we have the Guitar-O-Matic for Telecaster, the one that should be relatively familiar to people. We've got the existing tone control, we don't lose that. And we've got the X control here, which controls the volume or another parameter on the module we're using. So let's just have a quick look at this. So this is the Blaster Boost module, if we can get that the right way around. Gonna chuck that in. Now, that's really firmly seated. If you can see it from on the side, it protrudes up a tiny bit, not heaps. And to get it off, you need to give it a decent little rock back and forth. It's not the sort of thing where you can just pop it straight out. So here you go, from on the top, you can see, and you rock it a couple of times and it's out. So with the Guitar-O-Matic specifically made for Telecaster, obviously being custom made for Telecaster, 90% of the time there's going to be no routing on the interior of the cavity because this is made for it. The battery fits. Everything goes. It's made for it. You don't lose your tone control. It's there. You can mount modules on top. It's good to go. Whereas, if you decided to go this way, so right here, I've got one of my pride and joy guitars. I've had this one for a really long time. It is a Tokai Les Paul copy. I think I've had this one about 15 years now. I bought it new from Sindel Music in, I don't know what that would be, 15 years ago, maybe 2010-ish. And had this one for a really long time. And I just finished installing a little something. So here we go with the Guitar-O-Matic for Les Paul. It's not actually specifically for Les Paul, it's just a generic loader that you could put into, again, anything that's routed from the back. So I've got here, it doesn't need to be a different knob, but I've decided to put a different knob on it just so I remember which is which. So from the top of the guitar, it could look exactly the same, but this one here is a push-pull. That's with your X control at minimum. Going to pull that up and wind in, whether it's gain, volume, whatever. Let's have a look around the back. So you can see inside here, we have the Guitar-O-Matic in here. It's not quite as pretty as the one from on top, but basically it looks a little bit like this. Jack, the battery, and this is just a lead I put on for testing. So that's what it looks like there. This is it in the guitar. You could see before the mounting pins for the Guitar-O-Matic are there, or for the modules rather. And so the module is just inserted. Spoiler alert, there's the Range Master boost. So we just put it in there like that. So it's not super hard to change out, and it maybe gives you a little bit more protection on the road. But one of the most attractive things, in my opinion, about it, the Guitar-O-Matic, was the ability to change modules quickly, but maybe some people would prefer this. Who knows? So, now that there's a few options of what sort of Guitar-O-Matic you're going to get, what do you reckon? Would you like to be able to change modules really easily but have the modules exposed on top? Or would you like something really clean, look the same from on top, mount the modules in the back, but potentially be stuck with that same module unless you want to take off the plate on the back? What do you reckon?